We've all heard about legal drama. No, not that one. The film genre one. The legal drama genre was completely established in the 1950s and 1960s when the world was full of social and moral issues. After World War II ended, a new battle began, a battle against civil rights, social justice, and the truth. The legal system became a mirror of society's problems.
We're the little guy.
But over time, perceptions
Your
changed.
parent company.
Lawyers changed from idealized figures in To Kill a Mockingbird to more complex characters in Suits and Just Mercy. These on-screen changes reflected real-life changes. But what makes a legal drama a legal drama? Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird was represented as the idealistic lawyer archetype, an individual fighting for truth and justice. Finch's closing arguments in the courtroom solidified Finch's idealistic lawyer archetype. It wasn't just a closing sequence, but rather a scene hidden with purpose, a plea for justice against the systemic racism during that time period. As Finch was at the end of his closing argument, he paused and unbuttoned his vest and collar.
In the name of God, believe.
In an academic paper written by Mary Ellen Mattman in 2008, she labels Finch as arguably the most praised lawyer, real or fictional, in American legal lore. According to Schneider, this film is when legal drama changed from being stories about the law to stories that commentate on societal changes. In late 2010, the emergence of legal drama biopics evolved the lawyer film archetype, moving from Finch's idealistic archetype to a more nuanced real-world reflection, as seen in Bryan Stevenson. While Finch is portrayed as a lawyer standing firm for justice, Bryan Stevenson in Just Mercy is written more complexly, driven by a strong sense of right and wrong, but also the emotional and personal connection he has towards the broken system, whilst fighting against it. Just Mercy's utilization of close-up shots isolating Stevenson highlights the emotional struggles in his fight for justice. The low-key lighting and muted color palette reflect the oppressive environment in which Stevenson works in, further emphasizing the emotional burden Stevenson faces.
Now let Mr. Stevenson talk.
It's a pleasure to meet all of you. Thank you. Now, I know you all have a lot of questions.
Stevenson's relationship with Walter McMillan extends from the courtroom and is a significant contrast to Finch's relationship with Tom Robinson. Stevenson's bond with McMillan goes beyond a lawyer and client relationship, but rather a personal connection, even visiting McMillan's house to further understand his client's experience and struggles. Just Mercy had a character dynamic where the lawyer wasn't only a lawyer, but rather an ally towards with the client, fighting social injustice and civil rights together. The relationship evolved the archetype of lawyers, further reflecting real-world lawyers in a more compassionate relationship with clients, rather than the archetype of a distant legal figure. The shift in cinema lawyer archetypes continued in Suits. Despite being a different brand of lawyers, corporate, they must wrestle against moral dilemmas and ethical standards. The archetype of lawyers continued to shift, as seen in Suits, from idealized symbols to complex, ambitious lawyers. Just Mercy presented Bryan Stevenson as a lawyer committed to fighting injustice. Suits and takes an outsider approach focused on corporate law. Harvey Specter, a sharp corporate lawyer who often crosses lines that aren't meant to be crossed to win cases, he goes throughout the show with constant ethical dilemmas. In a case in Season 2, Episode 13, Harvey had to choose between saving his career over the case, a contrast to the moral clarity of Stevenson. Suits used tight close-ups in high-stakes sequences, reflecting the intense moral conflict the characters faced. Suits focused on personal dilemmas and ethical issues in the corporate world, extending upon the legal drama norm of courtroom battles. Suits challenged the perception of the corporate law, where truth and justice conflict with profit and power. So, what makes a legal drama a legal drama? A legal drama isn't only defined by courtroom and legal proceedings, but also its exploration in moral and ethical dilemmas, complex characters, and portrayals of lawyer-client relationships. These stories navigate the legal system and the themes of justice, truth, and power, often using close-ups and medium shots to highlight emotional conflict and low-key lighting to create an oppressive atmosphere. The depiction of lawyers within film evolved due to shifts in societal values and events and power dynamics in the legal system. As society faced issues with civil rights and social injustice, films began to explore more complex aspects of being a lawyer. As the understanding of justice continues to evolve, so too does the lens in which we individuals view those who are meant to defend it. Even those tasked to uphold the law are not immune to its very own flaws.